Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we are jumping back in to Throne and Liberty. This time for male customization specifically. If you'd like to see the female version, there's a link below and there's also a link to my full video. For those that perhaps don't know Throne and Liberty, it is a free-to-play multi-platform MMORPG with an always changing environment, massive scale PvPvE, and the ability to transform into creatures to battle across land, sea, and air. It also has a pretty phenomenal character creation and customization system, which is why we are here. If you'd like to find the female version of this video, you can find a link below, along with a link to the full video that covers both. That said, you want to do a deep dive? Find some links below. Discover all there is to discover about this game before jumping in. Do it. There will also be timestamps. Now, as we jump in, I'm going to say the first thing I'll do is I'll just give you a quick tour of the menu, tell you what's available, what's possible, and all the rest. Then we're going to jump into the presets, then the full customization, and then we will randomize. That's it. That's the plan. Let us begin. You can change your character's expression. You can make him look neutral, which is decidedly not neutral. This is neutral. That's, well, it's angry, it's unimpressed, it's all sorts of other things. It could be annoyed, but it's definitely not neutral. Confident, that's pretty confident. A smile, that's pretty sly. And rage is, yeah, that's spot on. Probably my favorite one of the lot. Then you can also do the light in. Now, I will just say from my time in this character creation system, it is well worth having a look at the light in. Specifically number 3 here actually shows the character off quite nicely. The contrast between 1 and 3 is big because 1 has this cool cave light in that you see here, and 3 is more sort of an outdoorsy light where you actually have some sunshine. Even though it might be a sunset or a sunrise, it's not full brightness. It is a different shade, and you should probably check the hair out in more than one lighting condition to make sure you've got what you want. Then there is a history section over here where you can do previous and next change along with reset everything. You can hide the UI, and you can have the character's gaze follow your cursor. There you go. Finally, you can share your appearances, you can export, you can load. It's cool. I like it when big systems like this actually allow you to share your stuff online easily. It's kind of annoying having to post sliders, you know? So this is definitely a thumbs up from me. Right. Let's jump into the presets. There are so many good presets here. I got a lot good to say about this system. Okay, way more good than bad. They have some seriously good looking characters here, fantastic looking characters, and I do feel like the presets, the templates that they have here are enough. I don't often say that, but like, I would probably be able to come in here and, whether I'm playing male or female, pick a character from this list and just jump in and play and enjoy the game. Yeah, easy. Even more so, I could probably easily jump in here, pick a character, and then perhaps just change 1 or 2 small things and take it from there. Now, my overall impressions have been pretty good. I think that the male characters look solid. I think that the one thing that they nailed with the male characters versus the female is that the males can look a lot more rugged, and they can also look a little more mature, which I like, right? I think that there's a little bit more variety on the male side of things where that's concerned, and it's definitely been shown off here in the designs, in the templates. Just know, as we are going through here, that there is so much more that's possible. They don't go to the extremes, they play it quite safe when it comes to the presets here. The nice thing again about the males is that they tend to have some older looking characters here. They have some slightly different, like, you know, they don't just stick with the full-on 100% front cover of the magazine supermodel style dude with this. They actually have some variety where that's concerned, and I dig that. I think it's really cool. I think that they could have gone a little bit more extreme, but I think that this was the safe choice. And yeah, I'm happy with it. There's a decent enough selection, and I think that pretty much anyone would be able to jump in here and select something that could be a few clicks away from perfect for them. Now, I'm going to start by customizing this dude right here, just because he is straightforward, standard, boom, 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 and his hair is short, so we can see all the facial features. So we'll take this guy, right? Then we're going to jump into the advanced customization options. Now, there are presets. The presets here are basically combinations of pretty much everything here, except for the makeup and the hair. So you basically get in an entirely different face structure to go with. Most of the sort of basic settings are staying the same, but it's sort of like a halfway point between the full preset and just the face structure, right? So what you're going to look at here is you'll have a few that are the same, like these guys here with just a few changes. Then you'll have some faces that are different ethnicity, that have different structures, different eyes, different everything. And you will also see that as we go through here, there will be different skin textures, where some of them will have the built-in stubble, which I honestly feel looks relatively great in this game. They've done a phenomenal job with that. And yeah, it's a way to help you basically tailor the character to how you want it to look. And I mean, it's an important choice. Just keep that in mind as you jump in here. However, it's not the be-all and end-all. And I say that because this next selection here is the same stuff, but without the skin tones and other goodies attached. So basically here you have just the face template. You'll see that the skin tone barely changes, and a lot of the other stuff stays almost exactly the same. You are just changing the facial structure. But it's an important choice, of course, because this guy right here looks basically nothing like this guy right here, and so on and so forth. So you pick the one you want here, and then you head on in, because there's a whole lot more waiting for you. So, shape. We got a slider here. It is more impactful on the male side versus the female side. You can see when I move it around here, there's actually a decent amount of movement. When you go to round face up at the top, it doesn't make it too round. You know, it's pretty much just making the, if you move it from the center to the top here, it's pushing the jaws out a slight bit, and you can see the chin is going up a little bit, but that will change with the other faces, right? So if you pick a different face, it might go rounder. Narrow is pretty narrow. It definitely brings the jawline in. Wide is definitely wider, and long is, well, it's sort of it's an in-between. It's impactful, but you can get all these changes and then some when you move down to the bottom here where we're about to go, right? So this is not too important, but it's still an easy way to at least pick what you want. So the skin, there's a gloss slider. You can sort of be shiny or not. This once again also depends a little bit on the lighting, because in certain lighting this will look more or less extreme. I generally tend to like to leave it sort of somewhere in the middle. It looks a little weird when it's not on, but it looks a little crazy when it's on too much, you know? Then skin tones, they have some recommended colors here, some serve-in suggestions, which is just basically everything that's available. It's nice that they have the warmer tones and the cooler tones for the darker colors. I still think they could have gone a little bit darker, but I think it's probably more than enough. They have a full RGB wheel for just skin tones here. It's not full RGB, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, it's basically the same colors as here. You're not really going to find anything in this one that's not already here. So yeah, it's just nice to have, but not too impactful overall. Then you got the wrinkles over here. I feel like they are more impactful on the male side of things. They have more defined lines, which is nice. It's good because it gives you more options. But yeah, you can fiddle around with this a little bit. Then there are freckles and spots. These are beauty spots, different parts of the face, and freckles on different parts of the face. Varying amounts and degrees of these things. It's good. It's good. Then you can change the opacity of these as well. Scars. Ah, the scars of Throne and Liberty. Truly a pity. Because I feel like while I like the scars a lot, and I love the subtle nature of them, I believe that they are just a little too subtle. It's like you really have to like squint to try and find them. I know there'll be someone out there defending this, and I would defend it because it looks really good. I would just say that they should give us an option to make it a little more visible. Because it's just a teeny weeny little thing at the moment, right? It would be cool if it was a little bit more visible. I understand if you're going for realism, but like, still, a scar can be realistically portrayed in a much more extreme fashion, you know? So, moving on to the structure. Cheekbones, here we go. Just know that if you pull any of these all the way to the one side and all the way to the other side, you can get some pretty extreme results, and I complain a lot about that. It's one of the only things that I actually think is sort of not great about the randomization system, is that they play it safe. On the randomization system, I feel like they leave all of this in the middle, and you don't really get a great look at what's actually possible. You know, it's not a true randomize, because there are some really extreme options here, and you know, if you go all the way to the one side, as I'll show you quickly to make just my point, if you go all the way to the one side, you get a pretty extreme look. I'll show you just on all of it, okay? And it's the same on the other way, and I'll go through these options individually. I just want to show you that you can actually do something pretty crazy with it, and if you do it this side, it's crazy, you know, in the opposite. And I would have liked it if the randomized system had given us a little more of this, you know, just a little more basically of the crazy, because it's fun, you know. It's cool to see like weird and wacky characters, and it would help a lot to diversify the characters out there in the world, you know, give people more creativity, give people more options, visibility. When they randomize, you jump in here, you randomize, you sort of get a good look at it, but it's not good enough. Anyway, there's a lot going on here, and these options can be used to, I feel, pretty extreme levels if you go out of your way. Okay, so we were on the jaw, I think. So the jaw options are, as they generally are in games, one of the more impactful options that you can use to sort of make your character different, stand out a little bit. However, again, it's something where if you change something here, definitely look at it from a bunch of different angles before you click yes and jump in with a character, because sometimes you could change one thing one way or the other, and you would not look at it from the angle you'd need to see it from to see that it's a little strange, you know? Here's the chin. Not too much movement on the chin, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, there's a good amount of options here. And this is obviously just the start. As you can see, we're moving on to the eyes now. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more. So much like with the faces where they gave you the preset, they give you a preset here as well to pick through. This gives you a full preset where it is the eye shape, the eye color, basically, I want to say like the ethnicity and everything else combined. It's like a full template for the eyes, which makes this whole system actually pretty easy if you want it to be, where you can just come through, pick, and skip all the sliders. But I dig this. It basically gives you, once again, just a serving suggestion of the different options you can do with the eyes. I like it. I like it. So, we'll take the basic ones for now, and I will show you the rest. You can color the eyes individually, or customize the eyes individually, or do both sides together. For the purposes of the video, we'll do both sides together. There are a bunch of recommended colors here, much like they did with the skin tones, and they have some pretty extreme choices available, but you can take it way further by just doing the color yourself, full RGB. And these are great eyes. Like, you can zoom all the way out, you can still clearly see the color. They are awesome. I have nothing negative to say about the eye controls and the eye options and the eye everything, because yeah, it's what I want. It's what I want. It's what I want. The eye test, the eye zoom test is always performed, and when you can actually see the color from the distance, like from all the way out, that's a win. I like that, you know? And they've done it in a subtle way that even when you zoom in and you choose one of these like super bright colors, it's still okay. It's still totally cool. Yeah, so yeah, full RGB. You can sort of do what you want with it. Let's go for some sort of yellowy golden eyes or something like that, like orangey. Yeah, let's go with that. There you go. Then you can choose the eye type. This is basically just the style. There's nothing nuts here. There's some interesting options that are very different, but there's no like skulls or hearts or crosses or anything like that. I think Lost Ark has some pretty insane options, along with things like Cyberpunk and whatever. They don't really do that here, but they give you a decent selection regardless. Then you can change the size, which I dig. It can give you a pretty cool effect, honestly, if you go all the way down. Very One Punch Man. Then you can also change the brightness, which just adds color or removes color. It's cool. Pupils. Size of the pupils. Width. You can make them into like slits versus having them round. And that's nice. Good options overall. Yeah, I got like nothing. I got nothing. There's really nothing to complain about. And that said, it just gets better when you go down here. So these are the eye movement options. It's like your facial structure where the eyes are concerned. You can go pretty extreme here, and I like it. So the size, there you go. Lots of movement on that. Aperture. All of these come together quite nicely to allow for changes to your character's entire demeanor. You know, your expression and everything else. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. Like, there's just a lot, you know? There's just a lot. Eyelid. And again, it's one of those situations where, and I'll show you how it works just now, but if you go all the way to one side or all the way to the other side, you can really see how much is possible. There you go. Case in point. And then the other way. And this is also particularly great, by the way, if you throw like the facial expressions on here. So if I do, as an example, this one. It's perfect, you know? Or the angrier one. There you go. It's kind of good. It's kind of nice. But seriously, watch out. Watch out. It can go off the rails pretty quick without you even realizing, you know? So take it easy with these. Eyebrows. Some eyebrow presets here. I'm not too fond or impressed by the eyebrow options. They're okay. These are the presets only. You can use these once again to set up the mood of your character quite nicely. The specific eyebrow types, here they are. They don't let you go too bushy, which is, I guess, understandable for this type of game. The sort of Eastern influence is strong here, but you can go far enough, and you can actually take them off entirely if you'd like to. It's cool. It's cool. I personally like bushy brows. Then there are colors here. The colors on the eyebrows, I'm not going to spend too much time on them. I'll just show you the suggestions that they have. And then I'll also show you that they have full RGB. So you can do whatever you want with them. But I am not going to go in depth here because we will do that with the actual hair color. And then you can just mix and match, or you can make them the same or whatever. You know, it's like, yeah, you do you when it comes to that stuff. You can change a few options here. The height, which once again helps a lot with the expression. The spread, it's the distance. And the protrusion. Then the eyebrow details, we can do the thickness, the inner height, inner width. That's the inner end. It's on the inside, basically. External height, external width, and outer end. It's a lot to change here. There really is a lot. And even if you leave it like with minor changes, it can definitely change the face quite a bit. Then we have noses. The males have slightly more nose options than the females. These are your presets basically for noses. And I say slightly more options because they can go slightly bigger on the nose than the females can. But it's not by much. The nose options are still pretty limited. There are some, you know, there's a bit that you can do, but it's not a huge amount. You can go bigger, as I said, on male. But only so much, you know? Then we have the nose details here. This is the brow height, which is up at the top there. The bridge, it's the width, so look from here. Bone height. Tip protrusion. So if you saw the female video, you will notice that the male nose can definitely go larger. And that's cool, but it's still pretty limited. There you go. Mouth. Mouth presets. Alright selection here. These are just like combinations of the different options that you can find down here. You'd rather want to do it yourself, I think. The height. The length. I think they can also go quite a lot wider with the mouth. Protrusion. Lip angle. And then the mouth details. We have the upper and lower. Upper width. and lower width. These tend to look a little weird when you go lower width too far on a face that doesn't support it. It looks a little strange, but overall, yeah, decent options. Ears are pretty good in this. I like the ears. You can go nice and big, you can go nice and small, and I feel like the growth is sort of a natural thing. Like the ear doesn't just physically get bigger on the head, it actually grows bigger and grows smaller. Then they have 3 different types. They have the elvish ears, and they have the slightly more protruding ones. And then you can change the angle as well. There you go. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Good ear system. Makeup. For the makeup, this is pretty much everything combined, including war paint, and that's why the combos here have stuff like that in. You'll see as we go through, there's some subtle ones, then there's some tattoos, and then there's some like serious war paint here. They do use the same ones as far as I understand on male and female here, which is a bit of a pity. I mean, they didn't really make any custom ones for that, but the system is quite nice, and I like what they've done with it. First up, we have the eyelashes. It's just eyelashes. Okay, you don't get to change much or customize much on them, but they are, yeah. I mean, like these ones, this top row entirely is not really doing very much for me. The bottom ones are a bit more visible. Then we have eyeliner. With these, you can just change the opacity. You cannot change the color on the eyeliner. They're just black. And there are some alright options here. These last 3 are kind of cool. I like these. And again, opacity. Then we have eyeshadow. Here you can actually do multiple stuff. So like basically I'm going to go down here. I'm going to make this one pink. A nice bright pink. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make this one like a dark blue. Like that. And then you can see basically as we go through what they look like. Opacity full. Let's have a peek. So you can see the pink on the top and the blue at the bottom. And so on and so forth. Here you got the pink on the inside and the blue on the outside. Kind of okay. It's not my favorite. It's not the best possible version of eyeshadow that I've seen. But what makes it cooler is you can actually throw glitter on down at the bottom here. And that looks really nice. Along with the glitter, you can actually take the opacity of these 2 down. And then you can just have the glitter without the other stuff. And I think that looks pretty great. It's a nice option. So yeah, glitter. And again, full RGB for both of those. So you can do whatever it is you'd like. Next up, cheek makeup. I don't know about the damn cheek makeup, man. It's like, it doesn't really look like anything to me. It's there. You can put it where you want it, but why? If they had given glitter for this, I would have been happier. But we don't get to put glitter on these, so I just say no. Lip makeup. These are cool. There's some decent options here. Let's choose the red one. And let's push the opacity up. You get a gloss on it. It does what it says it does. And then you get a few different styles. And, fortunately, on this one, we do get some glitter. And the cool part, once again, is that you can take this off and leave just the glitter on, which looks really nice. There you go. And, as with the rest of the stuff, you've got full RGB, and it looks good. It looks, if I put it over there, you'll see all the different colors. It looks nice. Very cool. Very, very cool. Alright. War paint. Here we have tattoos, firstly. And the tattoos are... I don't know if there's going to be tattoos in-game in the store or something for sale. But I imagine so, because the selection here is just not very good. It's sort of like an afterthought to me. They got 6 tattoos, and they're all pretty basic. Like, that's it. There, you've seen all the tattoos. And they aren't bright, you know. There's no colors, there's nothing. That's the choices right there. Then we have war paint, which is significantly better and more interesting, because the war paint actually has 2 opacity zones. So you can take the one off, or you can take the other one off. And I love that. Then you can also change the colors on them. So the war paint, definitely more usable, definitely more interesting, and I do recommend messing around with this if you so desire, because there's a lot of cool stuff you could make with it. As an example, if we take this one over here, we choose the colors, we'll make the white one, we can leave that white, but let's take this one down here, make it black, well, close to black, then we take the opacity off, and then you've got this. It's like an interesting shape, you know? And it's the same with all these other ones, you can sort of mix and match the opacity, take whichever one you want, hide the one part, show the other part, and so on and so forth. It's good. It's a nice system. And the colors and stuff like that, they translate quite nicely here. You know, they're quite bright no matter what you pick. And I like that. I think it's kind of cool. And that's on both of them, once again. So, definitely a fan of the war paint system. I think they've done well with it. Now, hair and beard. So, hair great, beard good, but with some caveats. I've got some points like that I just don't like about the beards. You'll see in just a moment. First, we'll go on the hair, though. Probably the most impactful choice you can make, you know, other than maybe your skin tone. I don't know. But the hair is obviously always a big deal, especially when it looks as good as it does in this game, you know. There are a bunch of really nice hairstyles. These are the serving suggestions that have hair and beards combined. I'll tell you in just a moment why I don't like the beard so much, but the hair is phenomenal. It just looks great. They have a really good hair system in the game with some decent physics, and I feel like the amount of detail that they have on every single hairstyle is just second to none. You know? It's kind of great. Really, really, really cool. Now, I'm going to go through the hairstyles themselves in just a moment, then I'll turn it around and show you the back and everything. I'm just going through all these basic serve-in suggestions first. There you go. Back to the start, and then these are the hairstyles. These are the same ones we saw up there, but these are all going to stay the same color, so I'll zoom out a little bit and show you all the way around. I wanted to say, like, earlier on, you know, some of these styles are just wow, but I would have liked a couple more short styles. I personally usually pick short styles, but I mean, I think they do have a decent number anyway. I think it's all right. I think the combination here is good enough. I mean, they have like a bunch of medium styles, a bunch of long styles, and a decent number of short styles here, with these two being the two main contenders, this one and that one. But, I mean, more hairstyles is never a bad thing, right? More hairstyles is never a bad thing. And I want to say you could also just share the male and female hairstyles. Like, there's no reason to have some of these male and some female, you know? That's the way I see it. But there you go. That's it. And for the purposes of this video, we're basically done. So I'll take this one. I really like this hairstyle. I think it's cool. And that'll allow me to show the colors and stuff off here. So you get a primary color and a contrasting color. The idea is that the contrasting color will be your highlights, basically. The primary color is, well, your primary color. And as you can see, it works quite nicely. You can have it be more or less, so the range can come up or down. It works a little differently on all the different hairstyles, but the colors themselves are pretty great. Now, the best way to show the colors off is to just take the contrasting style off entirely and then just go into the full RGB over here and work with this. The hair colors are bright. They're nice. They look really good. I did struggle to find yellow. I couldn't really find the yellow here, but otherwise it is really cool, and you can have some seriously cool looking hair colors. It's vibrant, full of life. It's cool. They've done well with this. And it kind of, I'm not going to say it looks natural, because that is a straight lie, but it kind of feels okay, you know? Even when you have the super bright colors, it's still pretty decent, you know? But that's it for the hair. Now we're going to move on to the beard, right? So the beards, again, I'm in two minds about it. Firstly, you get to choose the shorter beard. So there's the lower beard, basically. There are some options here. This doesn't look amazing. You know, it's got this grainy, speckly feel to it, which is fine, but it's not amazing. It looks better when you zoom out. It doesn't look so great when you zoom in, but it's fine, right? It's okay. Then you get to pick the long beard types, and I'm going to do the thickness in just a moment to show you how that works, but I want to first show you the long beard types. I felt like the long beard types, some of them at least, were a little too wispy, even on full thickness, right? These ones are good. These ones are nice. They look good. And I feel there's really nothing to complain about when it comes to the longer ones. But, but they could have done with a bit more variety, and they could have done with a bit more care on this. So the thickness slider is literally opacity on the beard. Like, you can have basically what I would call a phantom beard by having it like half visible. And honestly, I've never seen something so ridiculous in my life. It is so stupid. Like, you can take the biggest beard style and you can just have it like at like very low opacity, and it just looks stupid. You know, that's not thickness. That's just opacity. And that's the one thing I really don't get about this. But at least they have beards, so I'm not about to complain. Oftentimes these games just forego the beards entirely. They just leave them out, and that's a shame. So it's nice to see the beard actually here. The colors on the beard are the same as the hair colors, and you can do whatever you want with them. However, there is no accent color. So just keep that in mind when you come through here. You can do whatever it is you like with it. And you can combine these as well. So you can take the lower beard and the upper beard, well, the shorter beard and the longer beard together, right? Next up, we have the body. Jeez, we've got a really good looking guy here, don't we? Tall, bulky, slim, and short, right? That's it. Those are the options. And then you can do the height. And this is all affected by that. So if you move this around, then it moves all these other things around. And that's it. When you do customize it, you have a few decent selections to make here. You can make the head size bigger or smaller, neck width, neck length, shoulder position, shoulder size, shoulder width. Not super impactful right here. Chest and arms. The chest size is, the torso width is pretty big, yeah. I wish they would let you see your character's body underneath, but they do not. These are your biceps, forearm, hand size. So I look at this and I think to myself, this is a bit of an afterthought. It's not a huge amount of customization that you can actually do, but I suppose it's fine, you know. This is your pelvis, thighs, and calves. That's it. Then our final set of options, outfits, costumes. These are pretty nice. There are some good costumes here. I've mentioned multiple times in my other videos, I would have liked to have seen more of the like castery roby types here, but overall I kind of like this, and it's just a starting point. Like you're gonna put something new on very soon after you start, but this is what you start the game with. I kind of like this one, so I'll choose this here. Those are your options. They look good. The outfits, the armor types, they all look really good. Nothing to complain about here. Very cool. Very, very cool. And that actually brings us to the end of the customization. Now we are going to zoom in and we're going to randomize. Let us enjoy this together. So the randomization is fine. I mentioned at the start of the video that I do feel like they could have gone more extreme with the presets, and I feel it's the same, that they could have maybe gone a bit more extreme with the randomization where they playing it safe. The one thing that they don't play it safe on is like the ears, but the rest of the sliders, they keep them like very much in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So they pick basically from the presets. Like that's about the most extreme you will get, right? That's about the most extreme, and it's not much. And it's not inherently a problem. It's not that the system is bad because of that. It's just that you could have had a bit more fun with it, you know? So like if they had given you full randomize where it just puts the bars all over the place, it might have been harder to find a good character, but it would have been more rewarding, you know, and you would have definitely had a lot more variety here. But overall, yeah, there's a decent selection, and the characters, because they look as good as they do, it's just awesome, you know, it's just great. With all of that said, we have reached the end of the video. There's a lot of cool options here, and there's so much opportunity to make good characters. So here in the outro, I will just say, I love the system for its pros, for the positives. It looks phenomenal. The characters just look awesome. I love the hair. I love the amazing fidelity on basically every part of your character when you customize it here. And it does translate well into the game. It looks great when you jump into the game. Your character still looks just as good as it did here, which is definitely applaudable. It's awesome. There are a few sections where I could be like, hey, you know, here you could add a bit more, here you could sort of allow a little bit more, but overall I think it's just awesome. It's a good humanoid character creation system. Really, really good. Some of the best hair I've seen as well. So yeah, I like it. I've got basically nothing but positive to say about this. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'd love to hear if you made characters that you are proud of here. I know that a bunch of characters already been shared all over the internet, and that's really cool. It's a good system. It's just a good system. So if you guys are playing this game, hey, enjoy. You can, as always, check back here soon for more. Give this one a like, share it, and do all that other stuff. You can find my links below, my coffee page, Twitch channel, and all the rest. And hey, if you're playing Throne and Liberty for launch, enjoy. Have fun. Happy that.